So, cinema. Now, I'm sure everyone here is at least familiar or familiar with the world of cinema. Cinephile or not, again, I'm sure everyone here has at least seen a movie once in their life, no matter the genre. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about like the wonders of cinema or the effects of cinema in my life or whatever. No, this is just going to be a video talking about the 5 movies that I saw over the past months in theaters and sort of reviewing it here. Now, I'll admit, I have not been into the theaters to watch new releases in like 3 years, and that was because of that new Avatar movie, which I think was kind of cool, but like it had amazing visuals and great fight scenes, but the story didn't really grab me. And I hear that another one is coming, and it's about the fire element. Anyway, getting off topic. So yeah, I'll be giving my sort of quick review, I guess, of these movies that I saw, because I don't want to make the videos like too long or whatever. And also, before I start writing the things I want to say about these movies, I was originally going to wait until September so I can watch that new Chainsaw Man film, but I want to try and push out some videos before college starts, like next week, and that's scary. So sadly, this is all you get. Maybe I'll make some channel like second channel content too. I don't know. Anyway, without further ado, here are my reviews of movies that I've seen in theaters over the past month. And this is a first on my channel since this channel is mostly video game related. Also, before I start, I'm gonna say that I might be talking about everything off the top of my head about the movies I saw, so a huge spoiler to anyone that hasn't seen these films. I'll leave a timestamp in the description of the movies, and if you've seen neither of them, then I don't know, come back and watch the movies before watching my review, I guess. Alright, so I gotta be honest. When I first saw the trailer for Thunderbolts, I was like, oh great, another Marvel team-up movie. This is not going to be complete slop with dumbass quips and bad CGI or just being completely soulless. Until I read some articles and stuff online, and it kind of sparked the curiosity in me, and boy am I glad that I gave it a shot. Dude, this movie like surprised me. Not just in like a little it was okay surprise, I mean like genuinely surprised. It felt grounded and real and emotional, and although it is a Marvel film, it still has that humor and action you'd see in any other Marvel film. And I do love how the humor just doesn't get in the way at all of the more serious scenes, which is perfect. And I feel like there's not much action, so that they can show the characters more, even if some characters didn't really felt like they get much attention. Ghost. And it just feels like they took time and let the characters be messy and vulnerable, and it just works. Now, the team dynamic is way better than I expected, man. Like, it's not just a bunch of randoms thrown together for the sake of it. Although technically speaking, if you're not like a comic book fan like me, the list of characters might seem random because you've never heard of them. Well, I guess except for Bucky, because come on, who doesn't know Bucky Barnes? Armed and dangerous! Anyway, like they actually feel like a team, even though they bicker and clash constantly. I love how the movie actually gives them time to show the things they're going through, like, and make the audience resonate with them more, like how Yelena is haunted by her childhood, or how Bob hates himself and feel like a burden to the team, which, not gonna lie, I kind of feel what he's going through. But anyway, I want to talk more about Yelena and Bob because my goodness, they are just the highlight of this film. Look, Yelena is already fun to watch, and Florence Pugh really nails that mix of sarcasm and sincerity. But Louis Pullman as Bob, man, there's just something about Bob. There's something about Bob that really caught me off guard. He brings this weird balance of comic relief and depth without feeling forced. Bro had no business being that good despite his awkwardness, and His scenes are some of the best in the movie, like the part where he becomes Sentry and then becomes the Void, and then the scene where he confronts the Void, and it's just peak. It's absolutely peak. Can't forget about the rest of the crew, of course. Don't forget about them. I mean, everyone knows Bucky or Winter Soldier, great character, and the most difficult for me to get into in Marvel Rivals. Red Guardian, or Yelena's dad, really brings the dad energy and humor, which I feel like helps out some of the more emotional parts of the film. John Walker, or US Agent as he's called in the comics, is also really good, but I like to call him the proper Captain America instead of Sam or Falcon. So yeah, Thunderbolts turned out way better than I expected. It's still a Marvel movie, sure, but it's definitely one of the stronger ones in recent years. Alright, I know this might sound crazy to some fans out there, but my first ever Mission Impossible film was actually Dead Reckoning. Yeah, I know, blasphemy, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that gets me banned from the Action Movie Club or something. But back then, I was just looking for something to watch, and Dead Reckoning popped up, and honestly, I thought it was amazing. Until I watched Fallout, and yeah, Fallout was just better in every single way, but of course, that first experience with Dead Reckoning still stuck with me. So, when I heard that Final Reckoning was going to be the last one, like the actual send-off for the franchise, I was fully locked in. I couldn't wait. I needed to know how it'll all end. And safe to say, it was fucking worth it. Final Reckoning is like one of the most fitting send-offs I've seen for a franchise this big. Like, this isn't just a movie. It feels like a farewell tour for one of the most iconic action sagas in cinema. And it's done with so much love, respect, and intensity. I've never been on the edge of my seat this hard, especially in theaters. The pacing, the tension, the stakes, it all just hits, you know? You really feel the danger in every scene. And when things go complete sideways, sure, you might be thinking, oh, he'll get out of it. But I feel like it's more like, how the hell is he gonna survive this one? Bro, Tom Cruise is like out here treating every movie like it's his last movie he'll ever make. Which is wild, considering he's been doing this for like, what, almost 30 years now? He really gives it his everything with all the crazy stunts and stuff. You really feel the weight on Ethan Hunt this time, because at this point, he's not just a spy anymore. He's basically humanity's last hope against the rogue AI that's everywhere and pretty much knows everything. The returning cast here is also really good, as well, and everyone gets their moment. There's real chemistry and stakes, and the story doesn't just throw characters around for fan service. It gives them arcs, choices, and in some cases closure. So yeah, coming from someone who jumped into the franchise late, Final Reckoning didn't just feel like it met the hype. It pretty much blew past it. It's intense, emotional, beautifully shot, and honestly just a damn good movie. And a perfect send-off for one of the greatest action franchises of all time. It's so iconic. Like, who doesn't know Mission Impossible? Like, even if you haven't watched it, like, I'm pretty sure you know like the theme song. So yeah, it's just amazing.
Kill all sons of bitches. That's my official instructions.
So here's the thing. I have heard about the 28 Days Later series for years. Like, I knew it existed, I knew it had a cult following, but I never actually sat down to watch any of them. But that changed when I saw the trailer for 28 Years Later, and it kind of got me, because it didn't reveal much, barely give away the plot, but it just had that vibe, you know what I mean? that eerie post-apocalyptic tone that makes you curious to see it. So before it dropped, I did my homework by watching 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Days was great, super atmospheric. Weeks was not the best, but still a fun ride, and with that out of the way, I was basically ready for when the movie drops. First impressions, I was impressed. Right out of the gate, the cinematography just hits. It's gritty, but also beautiful in a weird way. The colors are sharp and not like overly saturated, but still vibrant enough that it feels like a visual upgrade from the previous films. Like, some of the shots honestly feel like they were pulled straight out of a graphic novel, and it's kind of a feast for the eyes, even in a sort of post-apocalyptic hellscape like this movie. Atmosphere too here is also just top-notch. It's tense and quiet in the right places, but and loud when it needs to be. The tone really captures that hopeless, isolated vibe the series is known for, which I feel like doubles that by having the movie set in an island and not in a city environment like Days and Weeks. Now, about the cinematography part, I feel like there were some stylistic choices that kind of caught me off guard. Like, there's this one scene early on where they go to this abandoned house and come across this hanged zombie, and as the zombie drops and starts attacking the main characters, it gets shot with an arrow, and right when the arrow hits the zombie in the head, like, the frame freezes and then shifts to the right for some reason and then continues. It's like, okay, artsy moment, I guess. Felt a bit out of place, and I feel like it was made to look cool more than to serve the story. There are a few of those sprinkled throughout the story, especially early on, and they're not bad, it's just kind of odd. Characters were also solid too. I won't spoil anything, but I do like the dynamic they went with. It's not about like big hero moments, but more so about survival. And the infected are still terrifying, and they don't lose that chaotic, rage-fueled energy that made the original stand out. Overall, solid film. 4.5 on my letterbox. Please check it out. Okay, look, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it and just say that genuinely, like, Superman is one of the best DC films I've ever seen, hands down. James Gunn just does not miss. The man knows how to adapt a comic book and tell an amazing story. And more importantly, he knows how to make you care, and this movie just proves it. Now, I'll admit, when the announcement first dropped that James Gunn was making a Superman movie, I was a little hesitant, because, well, at least to me, he's known for the whole ragtag team of weirdos who are secretly lovable kind of thing, Stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy or the Suicide Squad or Creature Commandos. So, hearing that he was taking on Superman, who is arguably the most iconic superhero of all time, I was like,
gentlemen, you have my curiosity.
Now, I made the decision to go in completely blind. No articles, no Reddit theories, no leaks, nothing. Just me going to the theater and sitting down and wait for the light to go out and watch the movie. And man, it was just amazing. James Gunn really understood the assignment here, because this isn't an origin story. We're not sitting through the whole here's how he got his powers or here's how Lois fell in love with him thing. We're dropped right in the middle of it. Superman is already here, already saving the world, and already being the hero that people look up to. And I just love that. Visually, the film looks stunning. Bright but not cartoony, real but still hopeful. It's got that classic comic book energy, but with enough grounding that it doesn't feel like a parody of itself. Huge props to the cast too, because they absolutely nailed it. I mean, come on, the main topic here is Superman, and David Cornsweet just crushed it playing him. He brought that warmth charm and strength without feeling like he's overdoing it. I just love how kind he is towards everyone, even his enemies. I mean, the message at the end of the movie is that being kind is the new punk rock. Like, he genuinely is the hero of light that everyone loves, and not the stupid ass horror farmer that is Zack Snyder's Superman.
No hate to Cavill though, I love him, but you know what I mean. Nicholas Hoult also absolutely killed it playing Lex Luthor. I mean, you can just feel the hatred in him every time he's on screen. Like, not just generic villain hate, I mean, this motherfucker is obsessed with Superman. The way he talks about him, the way he plans around him, studies him, and it's just personal to the point where it's almost creepy. And it makes for such a strong dynamic between them. And it's easily just one of the best Lex Luthor portrayals I've seen in years. The supporting cast is also nothing to sneeze at either. They're all just so lovable, like Lois, Jimmy Olsen, even the Justice Gang, like Guy Gardner, or Green Lantern as many people know him, or Mr. Terrific, and they all have great moments. And I'm sure you know which scene it is that makes Mr. Terrific in that movie such an amazing character. So yeah, Superman is just an overall amazing and fun experience. It's emotional, fun, full of charm, and packed with characters you genuinely enjoy watching. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think I've ever seen Superman this kind and heroic before on film. Like, not just saving people because he's supposed to, but because he cares. He sees the good in everyone, even with the people trying to take him down. It's refreshing and it's just powerful. And it's honestly the Superman that I think a lot of fans needed. And if this is going to be the start of the new DCU, then we're off to an incredible start. I can't wait for Supergirl next year. I feel like Superman has been really, really good to the point where, I feel it kind of brought my hopes up for the next DCU projects. Starting with Supergirl, of course. I cannot wait for that. I'm sure James Gunn will absolutely cook with that.
Come a long way since the garage.
Gotta say,
Fantastic!
Alright, time to wrap this all up with what might be one of the best Marvel movies I've seen in a while. Right after Thunderbolts, I did not think Marvel had it in them to pull off another hit so soon, but holy shit, they proved me wrong, because this one is genuinely something else. Now, I just want to jump in immediately by talking about its visuals for a second, because, oh man, like, the 1960s retro futuristic vibe is just gorgeous to look at. Everything from the city designs, to the old school electronics, to the vehicles, and it just works. It gives the movie this unique identity that sets it apart from every other Marvel project we've seen before. It's stylish without being gimmicky, and it fits the tone of the story really well. The CGI is also another thing that's done really well. Reed Richards, or Mr. Fantastic's stretching ability, looked way better than I expected, and it's clean, fluid, and not awkward to look at. Sue Storm's invisibility and force fields were also done beautifully. If I had one little gripe though, it's probably with Johnny Storm's or Human Torch fire ability. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but sometimes the fire around him looked a bit off. Like, in the trailers, it kind of looked like the fire just hovered around him. But in the actual movie, when he flames on, he glows bright red with fire completely engulfing him. And it looks awesome. So yeah, a few weird moments, but overall, it looks great. What really sold the movie for me though, is the whole family aspect. They just nailed the emotional core of the team. The bond between the four of them felt so real and believable. There was tension, there was love, and most importantly, it didn't feel forced at all. It's not like it's just, oh hey, they're a team so they must get along. But you actually see them grow, struggle, and stick together through it all. Like, you can just tell they put time into making them feel like actual people who care about each other, and not just superpowered roommates or whatever. And also, man, the acting was just so on point. Now, I mainly know Vanessa Kirby as that one character from Mission Impossible, but dude, she really nailed her role here as Susan Storm. There's this subtle motherly energy she brings. Not bossy, not overbearing, just calm, collected, and grounded. And it makes you believe that she's the emotional core of the group. Pedro Pascal also really surprised me, despite all the noise online, like the whole anxiety stuff or whatever. He really holds his own here. He really fits, Reed Richards' energy, that being intelligent, awkward, but driven to protect his family and also saving the world. Now, talking about the villains, Galactus is terrifying, not just in his size, which is massive, but also just in sheer presence alone. The way everyone reacts when he shows up, and it's like he's a real threat and not just some like end of the world gimmick. Also, Silver Surfer is really good here as well. She's this mysterious entity who came with a message telling about the impending doom for the people of Earth, and it's just awesome, and her scenes are some of the best in the film. So yeah, overall, Fantastic Four absolutely delivered. I went in excited but cautious, and what I got was a masterpiece that honestly for me restored a bit of hope for the MCU's future. Like, this wasn't just another formulaic Marvel film. This was something special. It's everything I want from a superhero movie without drowning in cameos or multiverse nonsense. And honestly, if this is their first step, then Marvel's finally back on track because goddamn, it's straight up fantastic for sure.
Say that again?